Welcome to EDU World Space.
So in this video, we're going to work through question 58 from chapter 20, which says trisodium phosphate, or TSP, is an effective grease remover. Like many cleaners, TSP acts as a base in water. Write a balanced equation to account for this basic behavior. So we have trisodium phosphate. The trisodium tells us we have Na3, and then the phosphate, that tells us we have PO4. And we know that we're reacting with water. And we're reacting with water. When we react with water, we're acting as a base. So that means we're going to remove a proton from water, which will form the hydroxide ion. So the hydroxide ion can form a salt, an ionic compound, with the sodium ions. And so we have NaOH. And then what happens to our phosphate ion? Our phosphate ion forms a hydride. So it forms phosphoric acid, H3PO4. So all that's left is to balance this equation. So on the left-hand side in my reactants, I have 3 sodium atoms, and on the right-hand side, I only have 1 from sodium hydroxide. So let's put a coefficient of 3 in front of sodium hydroxide. So now that I have balanced my sodium atoms, I have 3 hydrogen atoms in my NaOH plus 3 for my H3PO4. That gives me 6 hydrogen atoms in my products, but I only have 2 in my reactants. So I also need a coefficient of 3 in front of this H2O so that I have 6 hydrogen atoms on both sides of my equation. So now we've balanced the sodium atoms, we've balanced the hydrogen atoms, and it looks like our phosphorus atoms are already balanced as well. We have 1 on both sides. So all that's left is to do our oxygen atoms. So our Na3PO4, that gives us 4, plus 3H2O, that gives us 3 more, that's 7 in my reactants. And then my 3 NaOH gives me 3, plus my H3PO4 gives me 4 more, that's 7 oxygen atoms in my product. So, so this equation is balanced. The balanced equation for trisodium phosphate acting as a base in water is Na3PO4 plus 3H2O forms 3 NaOH plus H3PO4.